Coming up on NTC News tonight, the Cubs come home after the World Series win, and the parade preparations are in full swing. We'll tell you when and where. We'll also have highlights from the nail-biting Game 7, and there were couches on fire and students ablaze as the NIU campus reacted to the epic series. NTC News starts now.
You're watching NTC News, DeKalb County's only television news source, on the campus of Northern Illinois University and from the Northern Television Center. This is NTC News Tonight.
It wasn't a dream, folks. Hello, I'm Alex Rodriguez. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Kitty Rose. It's Thursday, November 3rd. It's decided. The Cubs parade and rally will be held tomorrow to honor the World Series champions. The Cubs were welcomed home early this morning by some of Chicago's biggest supporters after beating the Cleveland Indians in extra innings with a score of 8-7. The city was originally planning to have the parade on Monday, but the team asked to move it up to Friday. The exact route of the parade has yet to be released.
It was a night to remember for Cubs fans from all over the country. A night people will reminisce about for where they were, who they watched with, and how hard they prayed for a Cubs win. And now, the Cubs are World Series champions.
That's in the air to center. Back at the wall. It is gone. What a start.
And what a start indeed, as we push up to the fourth, and Russell pops up to Rajai Davis at center, and the Cubs regain a 2-1 lead by a nice slide by Bryant. Now we move to the sixth, shut down manager Miller on, and David Ross hits a deep shot to center, and back it goes, and it's gone. And the old man gives the Cubs a 6-3 lead. Moving to the eighth, Indians rallying, and Rajai Davis plays the role of party pooper. And that gave Cleveland something to cheer for. And now we go to the top of the 10th. Zobrist up, smacks one on the left side. Third baseman can't get it. And Mora Jr. rounds third, and he's going to score easily. The Cubs are fired up, and it's 7-6. And now, after Walker Russell, Mickey Montero's up, and he smacks one through the gap. And now the Cubs are going to take an 8-6 lead in the top. But now the bottom half comes up as Chapman's all fired up. Rajai Davis comes in again, clutch for the Indians, giving heart attacks to Cubs fans. And now it's an 8-7 lead for the Cubs. But Mike Montgomery's about to come in, and the rest, I dare say, is history.
Here's the 0-1. This is going to be a tough play. Bryant, the Cubs win the World Series! Bryant makes the play! It's over! And the Cubs have finally won it all! 8-7-10!
The drought is finally over, and Joe Maddon and the Cubs can celebrate and finally move forward.
I love tradition. I think tradition is worth time mentally, and tradition is worth being upheld. But curses and superstitions are not. So it's really great for our entire Cubdom to get beyond that moment and continue to move forward, because now, based on the young players we have in this organization, we have an opportunity to be good for a long time, and without any constraints, without any of the negative dialogue. And you know me. I mean, we've known each other for a while. So that's the best way. The burden's been lifted. It should have never been there in the first place, I don't think. But now we can move forward.
At the end, Ben Zobrist was named World Series MVP. All three catchers for the Cubs had RBIs in the game. And we'll recap the rest in sports.
So what was it actually like in Chicago and in Cleveland?
Our Mike Mitchell was in Cleveland, and Eddie Garcia was in Chicago. And they join us now to tell us about the madness. You guys look exhausted.
Oh, I am absolutely exhausted. I woke up about 4:30 yesterday morning. I decided, you know what? It's Game 7 of the World Series. There's 35,000 tickets. There's 50 million people going to be watching that game. I want to be at that game. So I went on StubHub, I bought a ticket, and off I went to Cleveland.
So a 6-hour drive, right?
On the way there, the way home, oh my gosh, with construction, about 8.5 hours back. Sorry, Professor, for missing my first class today. I didn't mean to.
Hey, don't worry. I don't think they mind. But anyways, so with this game, what was the most, like, out of the Cubs fans there, what was the defining moment where Cubs fans were just going off, other than the win, obviously?
I think the most defining moment was before the game. When you walk in that stadium already, gates opened at 5:30, about 6:05, 6:10, you looked out there and you already saw nothing but blue and red. It stabilized to the game that no matter what, the Indians fans were in for it because Cub fans were there and they're ready to see a W.
Yeah, well, I know you have some footage here from Cleveland. You got some good, just take a listen at that footage.
Go Cubs go! Hey Chicago, what do you say? Cubs are gonna win today.
So tell us more about this footage. Like, you were right in front. There's Rahm Emanuel on that.
Yeah, right away I get down there, the final out. I was with a couple buddies. We ran up there. We had our phones out ready to go. We got to see the team celebrate. Right after that, they had MLB security come in to try to let a couple public officials, Mr. John Kasich, Mr. Bruce Rauner, Mr. Rahm Emanuel. We get up there, though. They come across there with Bill Murray, John Cusack, people like Amy Schumer. Right there, as you saw, Rahm Emanuel comes up, gets all excited with the yeah. Right after that footage, he comes up. I give him a big hug. I was like, my mother may not have just loved I did that, but I'm like, I got to give the mayor a hug. We just won the World Series.
That's awesome. And you said you had like Amy Schumer. She pulled you or something?
Yeah, she was trying to. I was one of the people that kind of like everyone was trying to make their way up the middle, and I just happened to be the person. She must have thought I was the best person to get up the middle, because all of a sudden she's pulling me. But then it got to a point of there's 3 more rows, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do my little whoop whoop whoop, and she was no longer following me with her boyfriend.
And the story of these goggles and that jersey, that's an actual jersey, and those are, I think, goggles that somebody was wearing last night?
Yeah, one of the guys that I love to chant during the game, the bullpen catcher, Mr. Chad Noble, the end of the game after he went down there, celebrated a little, sprayed a little bubbly, came back out. I asked him, like, Chad, if I spent $180 to get this jersey customized, can I get your goggles from in the locker room? Sure enough, he walks over, flips me the goggles, and it was like I was at the celebration.
That's insane. You were so close, too. How much did you have to pay for tickets? Must have cost an arm and a leg.
I mean, the get-in rate was about $800 to $900 for standing room. I ended up paying $1,600 to sit bleachers.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Well, Eddie, you were in Chicago, and that must have been as crazy.
The atmosphere in Wrigley was absolutely incredible. You had fans, old fans, young fans, all fans of all ages, really. Everybody anticipated this. Like, this is a big deal. I've waited my whole life for this. You know, I've been a Cubs fan my whole life, so everybody was in tears when it happened, and it was just absolutely incredible to be a part of.
What was happening? What was crowd's reactions?
I mean, people expect it to be like kind of like a riot, but I really didn't see that. I saw everyone just in tears. Pure happiness on everyone's faces, crying. Everybody was giving out hugs. It was just, everybody was just high-fiving each other. It was just a great time to be in Wrigley. Great time to be a Cubs fan.
I do want to talk about Rajai Davis' home run in the 8th. Okay, so that must have taken a lot of happiness, and now like, oh no, not again.
Yeah, well, definitely. Like, the whole game we were up, right? So like, everybody was just happy, high-fiving the whole game, and then when that happened, you just seen like it was like a bubble popped. Everybody just became serious. It was devastating because, you know, that whole curse thing. So when that happened, it was like a bubble pop. But then we came back, everybody believed still, and we won. We got the W.
Oh, man.
Man, also, I want to ask, where was my invitation? Where was our invitation, actually?
Yeah, for real.
It was the last. I had to leave about 8 hours earlier, man. It was a tough ride down there.
And can I bring this in? Can I just bring this in? You brought it for me, so
yeah,
I had to bring a W here.
Definitely.
So we're flying the W.
Definitely.
Well, thanks you guys for joining us here.
NIU students are blazing with excitement. Nicole Ryan has more on that.
After the Cubs clinched the World Series title, fans at NIU erupted with excitement. From Greek Row to campus buildings, Chicago pride was present. To commemorate the big win, celebrators took to the streets and lit off fireworks while honking their horns in relief after a close Game 7.
Out, and the top of the 10th came, and then the rain delay came. I'm like, okay, well, this is their time to get together, and this is when they're gonna be successful right here. Yeah. And they came out top of the 10th and went nuts.
Greek students abandoned their chapter houses and affiliations in the excitement. Even non-Greek students were present to join in on the festivities. Some students even made the trip to Wrigleyville so they could be on Clark and Addison when the World Series title returned to Chicago. Other students got a little bit more extreme with their celebration by lighting a couch on fire. Even though he was unable to hop on a train down to Wrigleyville, NIU student Sean Stalley still enjoyed the game.
I mean, it's been a long time coming since this happened. It's been over 100 years. Like, the feeling of amazement, the feeling of relief, like, we really did it. Someday has actually came today, so this is a good feeling for Chicago right now.
Regardless of how, when, or where people celebrated, the Cubs winning the World Series brought the NIU community together as one, regardless of their affiliation. Hopefully the campus community will stay united as the rest of the semester unfolds. Back to you guys.
Celebrities are joining in last night's excitement. Longtime Cubs fan and actor Bill Murray took part in the champagne shower in the Cubs locker room in Cleveland late last night. Murray called for the Chicago mayor to close schools for the rest of the week. President Barack Obama addressed the pinnacle moment. He tweeted, "That's change this Southsider can believe in. Want to come to the White House before I leave?" Cleveland fan Mike Nero inked his arm prior to the game with an Indians logo and the words 2016 champs. He shared a picture with the tweet, "Some call it bold, but I call it faith in Kluber." He didn't post on Twitter after the game.
Cubs parade tomorrow. How's the weather looking, Emery?
The weather for tomorrow's Cubs celebration parade will be very nice. We'll see temperatures in the upper 50s with plenty of sunshine, so be sure to bring your sunglasses as well as a light jacket. And then later this weekend, temperatures are going to reach up into the mid-60s, so to hear more about the upcoming warm-up, stay with us.
Coming up next, details on student rally that involves you and your money.
And what's being done to make students more aware of diversity.
If you're walking around campus and see tombstones, don't be alarmed. It's all part of a student movement. Dozens of students gathered along Lucinda Avenue this morning with plans of placing tombstones in the grass along the street. Organizers say they will represent each homicide in Chicago from 2007 until now. Various student groups came up with the idea. Jo Janquin says she's tired of students leaving school because of death in the family.
I wanted to show people, my students and other folks, that you can have a statistic on a page or you can be reading about it in class, but really putting these out there for folks to see and to understand helps them connect to the experience a whole lot.
They will place just over 5,000 tombstones. Alumni Park near the Home Student Center will have a spot for anyone who wants to add a tombstone for a lost loved one.
There's also another rally taking place. This one is about money.
Emma Kane has more with the story.
Thanks, Alex. The Student Association Senate is holding a rally to give those affected by the state budget a voice. Organizers say this is the second year in a row that state universities have not received their full funding. Today I spoke with SA Speaker Christine Wang about how the budget has affected the NIU community.
It's insane that we're going our second year without a fully funded budget. At this point, colleges and universities we're not the only ones being affected by this. Social services, communities, businesses, they're all being affected really, really harshly by this.
The rally will begin at 4:30 p.m. today in the MLK Commons. The Student Senate encourages everyone to come out and let their voice be heard.
Diversity has been a big topic of discussion this year, and now NIU is making some changes to its curriculum. NTC's Jordan Dene has more.
Magnitude of inequality that we were dealing with in 1974.
All students admitted after fall 2017 will be required to take a course in human diversity. This is all a part of Dr. Edgehill Walden's 3-year plan to improve NIU's diversity, equality, and inclusion.
And so the human diversity requirement at NIU allows us to make sure that we have classes where students are then able to learn about how social inequality impacts different people.
I'm here visiting Dr. Weaver's sociology and sports class that will fit the requirements for the human diversity courses. Adding these new requirements will help students get a better understanding for the world they'll be entering once they graduate. And it might even change their direction for their future goals.
I think that it's important that when you first come to college, you need to learn to grow, you need to get an understanding of the background of the people and at least form some sort of tolerance, because you're dealing with a lot of people that can be a culture shock coming to college.
Compared to 50 for women.
Students like Ashley understand why adding diversity to the curriculum is so important. That's why, on October 2nd, the Student Association Senate approved for this change.
What I think that NIU stands to gain from this diversity bill are students who are at the very least tolerant and at the most who are fully understanding and accepting of cultural differences, ethnic differences.
Each college has been required to submit classes that will meet the requirements for human diversity, so students will remain on track to graduate. With NTC News, I'm Jordan today.
The Human Diversity Requirement Bill will be presented to the University Council later today. That's the final stage to changing the curriculum.
With less than a week to Election Day, students only have until Monday to cast their ballots early. Early voting locations on campus are the Home Student Center and Barcema Hall. But keep in mind, you do need a local address to vote. Who are NIU's students voting for, and what are the latest poll numbers?
That's what we'll find out in this week's Political Pit Stop.
Here's Sada Kandor.
Thank you. Here's what's going on this week in political news. FBI Director James Comey is facing harsh criticism after revealing that the FBI is examining newly discovered Clinton emails. They were allegedly found on the laptop of Anthony Weiner, former congressman and estranged husband of Huma Abedin, a top aide to Clinton. Clinton is responding to the news by assuring her supporters the FBI will find no wrongdoing.
If they want to look at some more emails of one of my staffers, by all means, go ahead, look at them. And I know they will reach the same conclusion they reached when they looked at my emails last year, right?
Critics say Comey violated a Justice Department policy of avoiding major announcements that may influence elections. Donald Trump says Comey has done the right thing by releasing this information.
And it took guts for Director Comey to make the move that he made in light of the kind of opposition he had where they're trying to protect her from criminal prosecution.
Sources say it is unlikely that FBI officials will finish reviewing the emails before Election Day. The Ku Klux Klan's official newspaper, The Crusader, has expressed support for Trump in its current issue. The Trump campaign swiftly denounced this, calling the publication, quote, repulsive. The article inside defends Trump's campaign slogan of Make America Great Again. Earlier today, we went around campus and asked NIU students about the election. Here's what they had to say.
I am voting for Hillary just because she does have experience.
I'm a little disappointed. Two options that I'm not really proud of having, but I think we'll do the best of what we have.
I feel like you can really feel the tension between the two parties.
I feel like we always focus on the Democratic and Republican parties, and we don't focus on the Green and Libertarian.
Both parties aren't exactly what either party would want, and yes, there is a third party system, but with the way that our government currently is, we are stuck with a two-party system, and it's not exactly how I would like it to be.
I'm a black male, and I didn't even vote for Barack Obama. I didn't go out and vote last year, but I'm almost positive I want to go out and vote this year.
With less than a week before Election Day, polls are showing Clinton still holding a lead. The latest CNN ORC poll shows Clinton has a 5-point lead over Trump, with 49% of the vote. Third-party candidates Gary Johnson and Jill Stein hold 3% and 2% of the vote, respectively. Thanks for taking a stop with us this week. See you next time. I'm Sata Kendor.
Keep in mind, NTC News tonight will be having a special post-election show on Wednesday, November 9th. We'll have a full wrap-up of all the Election Day results, so please tune in.
Students who are searching for extra funds to pay for their education may be in luck. School officials say the Scholarship and Financial Aid Office are working to make the scholarship application easier. They eliminated paper-based applications and instead created a new system called Academic Works, which will give students a personalized experience based on his or her qualifications. NIU has been named the 45th safest campus in America. CollegeChoice.net says NIU was chosen because it offers self-defense classes, late-night transportation, and police who are medically trained. Thomas Edison State University in Trenton, New Jersey was deemed the safest.
Officials are investigating a Sycamore house fire that killed one man. 47-year-old Jeffrey Connery was the only person in the house at the time. Reports say the home did have working smoke alarms. Investigators say the fire caused $50,000 in damage.
A new 911 system will be introduced in DeKalb County on November 15th. This comes after corrupted software caused a 911 outage earlier this year. Frontier Communications run the 911 system in DeKalb, and they have replaced the affected software. DeKalb County is the first in the state to have the new technology.
The DeKalb County Health Department is launching a campaign emphasizing the importance of flu vaccinations. Officials named it Get 4 for Flu. The department is providing flu vaccinations that attack 4 flu strands. This year's vaccination targets an additional B strain. The health department has walk-in flu clinics for adults and children Monday through Friday from 8:30 to noon and 1 to 4 p.m. For more information, visit healthdecalbcounty.com. So are we in for flu-like weather? Emery Danens is here with the full forecast.
Well, tomorrow will be a little cooler than today, but hopefully you won't catch the flu if you go outside. Tomorrow we'll see temperatures near 58 degrees, so if you do go to that parade celebration for the Cubs, you'll just need a light jacket. But today has been pretty warm, very sunny out there. High temperatures today reaching up near 61 degrees. Then tonight we'll dip down to a low of about 41. Now, if you're outside today, you probably saw those nice, beautiful, sunny skies. Been a very nice day out there. We had a little bit of a breeze, around 8 miles per hour, but otherwise made for a nice fall day. And this weekend, it's going to be even warmer. So let's take a look at the larger scale to see what we have going on. So yesterday we had a low pressure system and some cloud cover that definitely brought some gloomy skies on Wednesday, but luckily that's pushed off to the east today. And what we've seen today is this high pressure system will start to build into our region as we go into Friday. Again, those high pressures bring sunshine. It's going to be a lot nicer than it has been in terms of temperature. On Saturday we'll be seeing another high pressure system around us, so Saturday will be very warm. So let's take it back to tonight here in DeKalb. We'll see overnight low of about 41 degrees. We might see some fog develop overnight again, but that'll burn off as we go into the day on Friday. We'll see partly cloudy conditions with a high of about 58 degrees, and we will see a shift in the winds from the northeast to the southwest, and bringing those southerly winds will help bring warmer temperatures. And then as we go into Friday night, overnight low of about 43 degrees, so a little bit chilly out there, but then our 7-day forecast looks beautiful. So again, on Friday, high of about 58, then Saturday and Sunday we'll see temperatures in the mid-60s. Be nice out there. We're not really expecting any rain for the next couple of days. Maybe next week we'll see some, but this weekend it'll be beautiful out there, so get outside and enjoy it. That's all for weather, so let's send it back to the desk.
The pumpkin fair may be over, but some controversy is still brewing. A child was asked to remove his pumpkin that featured Donald Trump in front of a brick wall with a sign that says, "I will build a great wall," to keep out the illegal gourds. A group protested with signs during the festival. One sign read, "Don't reward hate."
Besides that, organizers say the annual festival was a huge success. Eddie Garcia was on hand for all the fun festivities and has this report.
The Sycamore Pumpkin Festival celebrated its 54th annual parade as thousands gathered in excitement. The family-oriented event unified various non-for-profit organizations to help create the festival's annual tradition. Each organization dedicates a large amount of their time and effort as they provide a weekend of Halloween fun for all ages.
It's a unifying event for the community. It lets us see what community organizations are around, we can see in the parade.
Families gathered along the streets of downtown Sycamore hours beforehand to be able to get a front row view of the event. The parade included performances from many DeKalb County schools, including NIU's very own Silverettes and Marching Band. High school bands, independent clubs, and sporting teams also participated in the Halloween fun.
Everybody's got a friend or a relative or a child in the parade, and so the parade is so long that you're going to have a huge audience.
Friedendahl has been attending the Sycamore Parade for over 15 years, as the festive celebration gives a tradition to many in the community. Children especially enjoyed the parade as they cheered and watched as it passed by.
Just riding at the rear of the parade, coming back through town and just watching the faces of the little kids, it's always heartwarming. That and watching the kids check in their decorated pumpkins is just phenomenal to watch.
Along with the parade, families were able to enjoy carnival rides, food, and a display of pumpkins. The Sycamore Pumpkin Fest occurs every last full weekend of October as it adds more organizations every year. From NTC News, I'm Eddie Garcia.
The Sycamore Pumpkin Fest serves as one of the largest fundraisers of the year for many local nonprofits.
And just a few blocks away from the parade, hundreds of crafters and their goods on display at the Pumpkin Fest's annual Autumn Craft and Treasures Market, which raises money for the Sycamore Music Boosters. Paris Bizzle has more.
Sycamore High School hosts the 44th annual Autumn Craft and Treasures Market, opening up their field house to over 250 vendors.
And I'm really grateful that we have it, because in order for us to actually have all these things and have like the piano and our risers even our rehearsal piano, it wouldn't have been possible unless we had it. And so, I mean, it's really beneficial to all of the music programs here because without it, we wouldn't really have much of anything. And so this craft fair is a really big part of it because it provides a lot of kind of supplement to it because it brings in a lot of money for us.
To shop the variety of crafts, homemade products, antiques, and ceramics, there is a charge of $2 for adults and $1 for senior citizens and kids.
It's not only a lot of work, but it's very fulfilling and fun. We have a fabulous team that we work with to provide this experience for the community of Sycamore, as well as the vendors.
Sycamore Music Booster organization are made up of families and friends of music students at Sycamore High School. The nonprofit organization has been successful since 1978 in supporting the school bands using the antique craft and treasurer's market to fund for equipment, trips, musicals, and scholarships. For NTC News, I am Paris Bizzle.
The Sycamore Music Boosters will use part of the proceeds for summer music scholarships. Awards winners will be announced later this month.
Coming up next on NTC News, Senior Night at Husky Stadium ends with a victory at Bowling Green earlier in the week.
And we'll toast to where the Husky Trail is taking us next.
NIU football wins its second game in a row.
Eric Martin joins us now with all the latest sports coverage.
Thanks, Alex. NIU has a great week in sports as both football and women's soccer teams win big. NIU football wins their second straight game this week as they beat Bowling Green 45-20 on Tuesday. Quarterback Anthony Maddie ended up going 29 for 20 with 185 yards. Running back Joel Bogno rushes for 5 yards and 134 yards on 26 carries. The Huskies will play Toledo next Wednesday in Chicago at Guaranteed Rate Field. NIU's women's soccer team looks forward to taking on Western Michigan in the MAC tournament semifinals. Sophomore goalkeeper Mackenzie Lee has stepped up for her team after taking over the starting role and came in clutch by saving 2 penalty kicks against Ball State in overtime. The winner of this semifinal matchup will go on to face the winner of Kent State and Central Michigan in the MAC championship. As stated earlier, last night was a night of firsts and celebration. The Cubs won their first World Series since 1908 in dramatic fashion with a Game 7 classic versus the Cleveland Indians. The Cubs left their mark on the history books in more than one way. Addison Russell had the most RBIs in a World Series history with 9. Dexter Fowler had the first Game 7 leadoff home run, and finally David Ross hit a home run in the last game of his career. The city of Chicago has been busy all night celebrating the Cubs' breathtaking Game 7 victory in the World Series last night. Before the streets are flooded by the fans for the championship parade, let's take a look at the other teams trying to deliver a title to the Windy City. We are halfway through the NFL season, and the Bears are starting to show signs of improvement on both sides of the ball. Jay Cutler and the Bears look to build off their upset win over the Vikings and string together 2 consecutive victories for the first time this year when they play Tampa Bay this Sunday. The Blackhawks are still early in their campaign, but still have one of the best offenses in the league and top the Central Division. They will face off against their rival Colorado Avalanche tonight at 7:30. The Bulls are off to a strong start of their season with their off-season pickups working well together. The United Center will be welcoming a familiar face back into town when Derrick Rose returns for the first time in a New York Knicks jersey tomorrow night. Chicago sports have been giving us many memories and championships over the past few years and look to continue to make their fans proud in years to come. That's all for sports. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Eric. We're at the midpoint of the semester, and the Husky Trail has led us to a lot of interesting sights.
Shada Cook joins us now with more on her segments.
Hey guys. So far, we visited the John and Mac Apple Orchard, the Art Box, and Girl Talk here on campus, and also the city's Kite Fest. If you missed any of these stories, you can visit our YouTube page at NTC News or check out our local special series on Channel 14. Next week, I'll be visiting DeKalb's only distillery, Whiskey Acres. They're getting a government grant, and I hope to give you an inside look at how these funds will improve the operation. I also plan on checking out the Soulful Night Out at the House Cafe. And if you think there are any other stops we should make on the trail, then contact us on Facebook.
NTC News Tonight is produced and directed by students here at Northern Illinois University.
For more on NTC News, look us up and like us on Facebook, and you can also check out our website. We want to thank you all for being with us.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Goodbye.